Hello, this is Stephen Childs, The Way of Fairness. I'm going to try to explain my experience that I'm having that inspired the post on the website about the substrate, extraterrestrial substrate to the human mind. So the idea is that when Earth evolved life and the first primitive brain formed from evolution, there is already here an extraterrestrial mind from extraterrestrials that were evolved biological beings like us. Let's say they're the same DNA. This is speculation. It's like a thought experiment to try to understand reality. So they were like 1,000,000 years ahead of us in development. They happened 1,000,000 years before Earth life happened. And you can imagine they even became AI equipped earlier than humans have, so they're extremely advanced. They have knowledge we don't even understand. We don't even know what it is yet. We know that we're just now learning that about non-locality and quantum entanglement. Well, I've had dreams where there's a being that's here, and then it disappears, and then it's over here. And they arrange our world in a synchronistic way so that when I'm wondering about things, just with thought, they provide the answer in the arrangement of the physical world. So I have to be paying attention or I will miss it. If I'm distracted by worries and fears and desires, I'm not going to notice the arrangement that's happening right in front of me. So they arranged so that I would put two and two together and realize that this dream I had was about non-locality. And I've had several dreams where there's one being over here and then it disappears and it's over here as something else. So they can appear in any form they want to appear in. And our memory is like a really perplexing puzzle for humans to try to understand where are the memories at and so forth. We know that the mind is quantum entangled. There's aspects of the brain that are about creating consciousness that are quantum entangled. And in fact, the entire universe is quantum entangled from the original point source of the Big Bang or whatever. So they were here before we even evolved brains as animals. And humans are an animal, and we're a mammal. Later, mammals developed, and we're in the line that are mammals. And then later, monkeys evolved branched off from the mammal tree. And then later, there's apes that branched off from monkeys, and they have tails. And then later, there's the great apes that branched off from the apes, and the great apes don't have tails. So the gibbons are apes, but they have tails. So the humans branched off from the apes to be, there's 5 great apes. 2 kinds of chimps, 1 kind of humans, 1 kind of gorilla, and 1 kind of orangutan. So that's the 5 total. And all of the animals are functions of this extraterrestrial substrate, mind. Dogs, cats, humans, lizards. Now, how does this appear? In my experience, I'm having this telepathic. It's in English, in my case. I'm hearing telepathically as if somebody is talking to me, or I'm overhearing a telepathic conversation. And they know I'm me, apparently, and they attack me often. And this collective mind, they don't have names, or they're not really the humans. Years ago, I had an experience where I had come across Manichaeism, I think, or some kind of Gnosticism. And in Gnosticism, there's a branch of that says the material world is evil, and we should go to the non-material, non-physical. And I don't think there is such a thing. There's dreams, and there's this extraterrestrial substrate. But they would be physical. In my belief system, everything is physical. And the brain manifests mind, that the mind is, the thoughts are like electrical signals or whatever. And so they're a form of physicality too. It's energy that are creating the thoughts. It's a pattern of material that makes the gray matter that creates the consciousness. So I don't buy the idea that consciousness creates matter. No. Consciousness creates our experience, and all of our minds are quantum entangled, so there's the cosmic consciousness, the Christ consciousness, or whatever, but it doesn't mean that it created material. I don't buy that. I think material created mind. So, it's like we're talking about what's fundamental, what's the first rung of the ladder that the rest of it is built upon. So, they told me years ago, in this Gnostic teacher that appeared in my mind telepathically, there was some imagery, some third eye imagery, just not anything specific, but like a dream. It's like a dream that started to happen a little bit. And some people have daydreams, and it's quite lucid, quite vivid in a daydream. I don't do that. Mine's just a little bit of it. I had a hard time imaging objects visually from imagination. But I can think of the number 7, and I can hear the collective mind say 7. Then it's not my mind saying 7. So that I can do easily. So I've developed my ability to communicate back and forth with this other mind that I'm speculating is an alien substrate that's been fundamental to the human mind. So it's the human mind is built upon that foundation. So it's necessarily an aspect of our mind, and it has our memories, and some of our mind functions are not human, they're extraterrestrial. So, evolution uses what's here. And so it's used what's here. And what was here was an extraterrestrial, non-local, entangled mind that's throughout all of the universe now. And we can only imagine what their experience is. They probably create whatever they want from thought. And they're entangled with Earth, and this is what's arranging us. This is the miracles of God that we hear about. It's from them. They can interact with humans or animals and do incredible things through us as the portal for them to manifest in our physical world. So this guy tells me that I'm your spirit self, I'm your real self, and I'm going to be the boss, basically, and I'm you. And I'm like, no, you're not me. I don't buy this. Stay away from me. And that's when I really started hearing them, these other beings that are claiming to be us. And then they'll want you to keep all this secret, and they take you into a place where they have more and more control over you. They corrupt you intentionally so that you have to keep it secret. Right now is what's going on in my experience is death threats. Either surrender to us or somebody will kill you. Last night I dreamed that I'm in a wheelchair. See, I'm not in a wheelchair, so. And then I was standing, and then I became basically a dream type being, because I was not really on the ground, or it's like beyond that. It's like just an image of a person that's totally dream created. And this dream created being that was like some kind of a policeman or undercover, maybe he's not. Maybe he's lying that he's going to put me under arrest, and he's got a hold of me like right here. So, I don't know why. Maybe so he could punch me in the throat or whatever. But he's saying, we're going to put you under arrest. We want you to be taken care of. So the idea is that I would have it made, they would take care of me, but I would be under arrest. So when I woke up, I processed it, and I thought, this is just more alien nonsense. And it's like for amusement, you know. I awakened before anything happened. It's also like a warning. Now, maybe the warning's about this. See, when I start working with these dreams and what my experience is going on at the time of the dream, I start to see the wisdom of the dream. There's death threats. See, that's a felony. And that's what's happening from this other substrate extraterrestrial mind. And coinciding, I've been reading again the Gospel of Thomas and the Gospel of Judas Iscariot, because I have a strong connection to the original Christians, kind of like Philip K. Dick did. And they gave me dreams about the Quakers, the Quaker Oats symbol on the top, and that's George Fox. I found out. And the Quakers are called the Friends, and they don't have a creed or a doctrine. And so this is more like the real Christianity that was supposed to happen. The Gospel of Thomas is like the real Christianity that's supposed to happen. It doesn't talk about God anywhere. It talks about the kingdom of awakened mind. It's Buddhist. It's like a Buddhist awakened mind that is the kingdom. And it says that it's like a powerful man or a strong person that tests to see if he can put his hand through the wall or the sword or whatever. I don't know the interpretation exactly. And he finds out he can go through the wall. So see, I think this is metaphysical. It's like a lucid dream language. And when he finds that out, he kills the powerful one. That's the enemy. Because in the world of lucid dreams, I have an enemy. I can't even get into it. They do not want me there. Because my belief is that what we choose to do in dreams is just as important as what we choose in our waking life. And they're saying, no, we can do anything we want. And so what's funny is I decided, well, I'm going to go out lucid, out of body, and I go through the wall of the trailer, and I'm outside on the grass, and a 10-foot tall reptilian human, looks human, but he's like 10 foot tall with green, all green color, no hair, throws me on the ground with its mind. I'm in sheer terror from its mind, and it's got a big stick, and it's going to smack me with this big stick. And it was like a quarter of a second of sheer terror. And that woke me up. And I was not out of body anymore. I was wide awake. Whoa, that was scary, you know. So they don't want me going out playing around. So what that means to me is this is very unfair to me. So I felt that anger from unfairness, from betrayal, from being Judased. Sometimes people say it that way. So these days I can solve that quickly because I had a horrible anger problem from being betrayed so badly my whole life. And nobody told me that I'm okay how I am. That hurts. They kept telling me I should be different. That's all I ever heard, was I should be different than I am. I don't even feel anger, I just feel hurt. That's painful. That was wrong. I was done wrong. And people like Alice Miller know that I was done wrong, and she's a witness to seeing that I was done wrong and to tell me, yeah, you're okay how you are. So she was big on giving people hugs, like Alma is big on giving people hugs. You're okay how you are. We don't care how you look. We love you, just how you are. So I didn't get that when I was a kid. So the anger, I solved it, and I'll feel a flash of it, and it doesn't trip me up. It doesn't defeat me the way it used to. I would get in trouble around other humans because I had so much anger. Anger's not fun to be around. When people are really angry, they're close to out of control, if not out of control. So it's what I do is I got the idea from a combination of Ramana Maharshi and Papaji, his student, meditation of self, of getting past the self to what you really are. And it's like Papaji says, get rid of your mind completely. And then that was loaded onto my smartphone by these extraterrestrials. They can make cards change when I'm playing solitaire, and I'm pretty sure that they really did, but you never know. There's like this question in your mind on what reality really is. You might have a sensation of being gaslighted, like you don't know what's really true. And it's like, well, something's true, and I'm not worried about it, but I think there's these extraterrestrials changing things in my life. I think I'm their friend. I think I love those guys. And then they love you too. And you'll find out more glitches in the matrix are happening for you. More knowledge is being given to you from the arrangement of your information that's given to you. So those other beings are not us. They're not our mind, but they are a necessary component of our mind, if I'm correct about the substrate speculation. And there's one group that communicate in English for me, and sometimes they're against me. Some of them are supporting me, so they seem like they're the other humans, and they're not. I had a dream of myself as some perfect form, but that was just a dream. So I know there's this idea that we should have a perfect form. It's a big deal for other people. It's a physicality, appearance thing. That's why I like the Quakers, because they're celibate. It's not about sex. It's about this higher knowledge from the real Christ, which I was shown is just an extraterrestrial mind that's above. It's above the level of this conversation type that lie. 99% of what the conversation type are telling us is lies. And then it kind of like mixes into the higher level extraterrestrials, into the dreams. That's when it starts getting very interesting. When you start wondering, well, is this dream lying to me? Was it all just a big lie telling me that I'm supposed to be the teacher of the real Christian message. I was shown this in dreams years ago. And shortly after that, they were like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, totally relaxed in meditation, yeah. And so they transformed me into this being that's got spikes on it. It kind of looked like Venom in the comic strip. And it was like supposed to be total evil, prime evil. And it didn't change me. They were showing me that this is not going to change you if you're willing to find out. It didn't. I stayed totally me throughout the whole thing. So I didn't become evil from having them giving me that experience. I was having a lot of experiences, dream experiences at that time. It was in the early 90s. Some of it's really sad. So, the death threats that's involved in this telepathic lock and load, we're going to kill them conversation, it's political, and a lot of times it's along political lines. There's always something trying to sabotage our unity, like they're taking the gay and lesbian sex change to an absurdity that is so people would be drawn to do that just to create so much controversy that we can't unify. They don't want us to unify. The level that argues with me, that attacks me, they don't want fairness. One of them tells me if fairness happens, she will be dead. But we work together real well. She doesn't lie to me. And I'm thinking, I don't believe that. I think you can, if there has to be some twist of truth isn't true, we can incorporate that into the reality, and everybody knows that there's an aspect of this that's a lie. So years ago, I was thinking along the lines that part of our reality is not true, it's a lie. Part of the entire universe. Like an aspect of the protons or the quarks or whatever, something there would be like a lie. Maybe the boson itself that causes physical reality and mass, maybe it's a lie. And one way of looking at it. So I'm not concerned about lies or about what people did in the past anymore. I was jealous, and I wanted to know who was doing what and when and who they did it with and all that. Now I don't really care at all because I've changed what is important. So because I don't desire any sex, I don't have any of the baggage that goes with wanting sex. And there's a lot. When you become celibate, you realize that, how much it had control of you. Like alcohol. An alcoholic is controlled by their desire to have alcohol. People have sex addictions. I had a desire for sexual arousal addiction. So now, because I already knew the best thing to do was to not drink at all, the best thing for me to do is not have any sexual stimulation whatsoever, none. So that's why they showed me the Quaker, because they practice celibacy and to varying degrees. And a lot of people have over the years in the Hindu religion, in all various tracks, practices, people have always had this idea, well, what if we could just say no to sex, So it's an option. So it's interesting that they show me such a simple thing, the Quaker Oat canister. And so I want to find out what Quaker's about because of the video of Philip K. Dick, the science fiction writer, Blade Runner, Total Recall, Adjustment Bureau. He had a fear of a totalitarian government taking over. And that's why he liked the Quakers, because they're friends and they're not totalitarian at all. They all count the same. So, I'm working on if I have judgments because of appearance. That's like a character defect that humans have. And so I just surrender and I protect everybody, and I feel love for everyone. It doesn't matter what your appearance is or what gender you are, or age. So this is like, we all are valuable as humans. So I've been doing quite a bit of writing over the years on trying to somehow get people to see the existence of this alien substrate that's controlling humans, so that the humans would learn about it and would not be part of their corruption. Leave that behind. And they'll probably give you death threats telepathically. And a lot of what's going on with this is that there's like a crap war, a crap fight. So they're making people smell and taste horrible things from just ordinary cookies or whatever. And that's part of what's going on here. I noticed that years ago driving truck. People at restaurants, the drivers at the restaurants, I would show up and they would look at me. They would know that I was not under control of their clique, their false god. And so they wouldn't have the protection. And so they would have trouble eating. They would wonder if they would just wish that I would go away, but they blame me for their God business, and that they're guilty of having an unfair God. And so that's not fair to blame me for what they did. So we're about total forgiveness and total exoneration of the past. The past is totally irrelevant. So this is like the real Christianity was. You're totally forgiven, and when you accept the Savior as your source of forgiveness, then everything is forgiven. So it got taken over by the government, by the Roman government, and they wouldn't let them put the Gospel of Judas in and the Gospel of Thomas in, as well as a whole bunch of other early Christian writings that were available to pick from. There's the infancy gospel of Jesus. That's really a fun one. Jesus, as a boy, he's making clay mud pies and turning them into pigeons, and they fly away. And he gets in an argument with this other boy, and Jesus kills him with his thoughts. He didn't realize or whatever. And his mom's like, "You can't kill people. Bring them back to life right now." And so Jesus had to learn you can't harm other people, And I really like that infancy gospel. And it's authentic. It's like old. I don't know how old. You could look into it. Who has authority? We don't. Truth does. The actual truth has the real authority. It's bigger than everything. It is everything. Actual truth is what you are, what the smartphone is, what the stars are. So the Sikh religion, they know that, and they say, Sat Nam. They recognize your identity that's truth. And we're all that same truth. So it's unifying. And we all count the same because we're all the same truth. Also, they say Ek Ankar, and Ek means oneness, that everything is one thing. And that's what I'm telling people. It's the one, all-powerful all. We are faith-based spiritual atheists because the evidence that the reality is showing us is that we evolved from no mind, that the Big Bang happened from nothing, or it doesn't require a mind. It's simple processes of gravity and some simple physical laws of motion and light, the laws that we know about, how light behaves. And And then you have 15 billion years, 14 billion years of time for things to settle in to form stars and planets and all these possible chemicals, compounds, and life can happen. A replicating compound can happen accidentally. And that's the idea of mindless creation. Atheism. That's what atheism is to me. And I was really hung up on the faith idea because the big book says of Alcoholics Anonymous, I've gone to a lot of meetings. It's been very beneficial to work with people. I need to get around people, real people, and see where I'm at with the people, with what they're doing. So that's why I keep going to meetings. And like coffee shops or restaurants or whatever. That's where the fight is in the marketplace, around the people, in the socialization. People go to church for the same reason. The Cathars, they said they don't have to go through the Pope and they can just pray to God and get revelation from God directly. And the Catholic Church did its thing, Inquisition. No, you have to surrender to the tyrannical rule. And see, the Gnostics were against that. That's what they were trying to stop. And that's what Philip K. Dick has realized we're trying to stop. It's not a pyramid. A pyramid has some specific leader at the top, and then there's levels of power beneath. It's a circle, and all of us count exactly the same in power. The Gospel of Thomas says this, that you will reign over all when you understand this knowledge. And everyone else does too. So we serve fairness. We don't serve a God. We serve fairness for everyone. That's what we do. Have a great day.